Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We're studying lesson number 15. Last time we studied the new concept which is about az-zarfu, is also called maf'ul fihi. Az-zarf is the adverb, and we studied zarfu zaman and zarfu makan, adverb of time and place. So here is the summary. Kalimatun mansubatun taqulu lana ijabatan anis sawali. An adverb is a word which is mansub that tells us the answer to the question mata or aina, when or where. If it answers the question of when, then it is called zarfu zaman, and if it answers the question of where, then it is then that mansub word is zarfu makan. Ahammul kalimat allati takunu zarfan lizaman. Some important words that become zarfu zaman, they are sabahan, masaan, gadan, saifan, shitaan, sanatan, shahra, yauma, sa'ata, dakikata, saniyata, lahzata, daiman. And ahammul kalimat allati takunu zarfan lil makani, and some important words that become zarfu makan, they are fawqa, tahta, amama, wara'a, khalfa. Ahammul kalimat allati takunu zarfan li zaman or lil makan. There are some words that can be zarfu zaman or zarfu makan depending upon their use. They are like qabla, ba'da, inda, baina. Hazihil kalimatu la takunu zarfan daiman. These words, they are not adverb always, bal kad takunu fi ayyi wazifatin ukhra, but they can be used in other functions. Wahiya takunu zarfan lil makani or lil zamani, and they are used for zarfu zaman or zarfu makan indama taqulu lana ijabatan anis sawali. So when they answer the question of mata and aina, only they become zarfu makan or zaman. Otherwise they can be used in other things, other functions. Bazu zuruf zamani ul makani mabniyatan. Normally we said is kalama mansub is the mansub word, but some words, some zarfu zaman, some zurufu zaman or makan, they are mabni, like amsi, alana, munzu, haisu, hunaka. They don't change their they don't change the i'rab. They are mabni. So amsi is gonna be always amsi, is never be amsa, and munzu never gonna be munza. Al-ana is also mabni. This is the true form. So they're gonna be used as they are, without we can't make them mansub because they are mabni. So these are some of the examples. And then we studied hal. Alhalu is kalimatun mansubatun taqulu kayfa kana al-fa'ilu. This is also a mansub word that tells how was the fa'il or maf'ul bihi or ismul majroor fil waqtil fi'li, at the time of the action, at the time of the fail, what was the condition of the fa'il, maf'ul bihi and ism majroor. And then there is also hal jumla. Hal is not only in a word, but it also be a sentence. So hal jumla is kalimatun mansubatun taqulu kayfa kana al-fa'ilu maf'ul bihi ism majrur fi waqtil fi'li. That is the hal. And then rubbama takunu al-halul jumlatan fi mahalli nasbin. There may be the hal jumla, that is we gonna say in fi mahalli nasbin, in place of nasab. Wa yakunu adatan qabla hazil jumla wawun ismuha wawul hali, and this sentence, before this sentence, normally is a waw which is called wawul hali. Wa hiya mukhtalifatun an wawul atfi, and this is different from wawul atfi, and mukhtalifatun an wawul mayyati, and different from wawul mayya, which comes with the maf'ul mahu. So this is the summary of what we studied. Now we're gonna see the application of these new rules, new learning into the main lesson, which is Kanzuka Baina Yadaika. Your treasure is in your hands. So let's get started. Ya takidu kasirun min al adbail arabi. So this is the verb. Ya takidu is a takada ya takidu, means to believe. So ya takidu is failun madariun marfun walamat rafi ad damma, and kasirun is the file. Many from the Arab writers, they believe anna that fannal qissatil hadisati, that the art of storytelling, fannun jadidun, is a new art, lam ta'rifhul arabu min qablu, that Arab they didn't know it before. Wa min huna, and from here, ittajahal adbaul arabu. So ittajaha is another verb. Ittajaha yattajihu means to turn or to head toward a place or a goal. So ittajaha is fi'lu madin mabni al fathi. So then from here, the Arab writers, they turned ila fannil qasasil arubiyi, toward the art of the European storytelling. Yakraunahu, they study it. Vayadrasunahu, they read it and study it. So yakrauna is the verb, kara yakrau, and for whom is hum yakrauna. So yakrauna is failun mudariun marfun walamatul rafi subuti noun. So the presence of noun is the sign that is marfu wal wawul jamati. This waw here is zamirun muttasilun mabni fi mahalli rafin file, and waw is the file which is hum yakrauna. So they study, they read, and then yadrasuna is same thing. Darasa yadrusu, hum yadrusuna, they read it and they study that art. Bada, after anwajaduhu, they found it. So wajada is another verb, wajada yajidu, and for whom wajada will change to hum wajadu. So wajadu is fa'ilu madin mabni alal dammi, is the mabni ala dammi, li tasalahu bi wawul jamaat, is connected to wawul jamaat, and wawul jamaati damirun muttasilun mabniun fi mahalli rafin file, and the waw is the file which refers to whom. And after they found kanzan, treasure, la yafna. Yafna is another verb, fana yafna, to exhaust, fade, die. So yafna is fa'ilu mudari marfun walamat rafi dammatil muqaddara lissikl wa fa'iluhu damirun mustatirun fihi taqdiru huwa, and huwa yaudu ala fun, and the huwa refers to fun. So after they found that treasure, la yafna, inexhaustive, never dying out, never fading, wa masdaran, and a source, la yanzubu, never running out. So yanzubu is the verb, nazaba yanzubu, to run out. So yanzubu is failun mudari marfun walamatu rafi ad-damma wa fa'iluhu damirun mustatirun fi taqdiru huwa yaudu ala fun. So after they found that this storytelling, this European storytelling, is a source that never gonna run out and is never gonna exhaust, never die, then they started reading it and studying it. Min nahiyatin ukhra, on the other hand, wajada bazul kutabi fil alimi, some of the writers in the world, kullihi, all of it, found, wajada, anturas al arabiya, Arabic heritage, masdaran, as a source, daiman mean a constant source, lil kasasi. On the other hand, that some of the writers in the world, so kullihi is is used for the emphasis on alimi. That is why is kulli, because alimi is kulli. So is this we have studied in chapter 11. At-tawabe, the word that follows some other word like sifa, atf, badal, tokid. So tokid will gonna follow its muakkad. So is kulli is following alimi because it's majroor. So that is why kulli is majroor. Means in the world, whole of it is not some specific part of the world, but whole of it. So some writers in the whole of the world, they found the Arabic heritage a source of a constant source of the storytelling. So here the writer is saying that the storytelling is was a new art to the Arab world, and after they found that this is a treasure that is never gonna exhaust and is the source that never gonna run out, they started studying and reading the European storytelling. However, some of the writers in the world, they found the Arabic heritage as the source, as the constant source of the storytelling. So it's not that it's the European stories that the Arab started the storytelling from, but there was the stories that were written long time ago that the world was following it, was using it to make their novels. So Fala Sabil al-Misali, for example, so here the writer is making his point that Arabic stories or they were also became source for for many of the writers in the world. And for example, Akhaz al-Katib al-Braziliyu, a Brazilian writer, his name was his name I think he is alive, Paulo Coelho. He took Qissatan Kasiratan, a short story, Katabaha Yawman ma Mu'arrikhun Misriyun, that Egyptian writer wrote it someday. So Yawman now here is Zarfu Zaman, because this refers to the time when this story was written. The story was written someday by the Egyptian writer fi kitabin sagirin, in a small book, wazallat haisu kanat munzu miyati sinina, and it remained like this for hundreds of years. So hundreds of years before, a story was written by an Arab who was a Egyptian historian. He wrote a story, and that story was sitting somewhere for hundreds of years. So munzu is also zarfu zaman. So all the zarfu zaman I have circled. So this is also zarfu zaman and is mabni. It cannot be munza because it won't change. It won't change its the Arab. Munzu will not change. Munzu, we can't make it munza or munzi. So that story remained like the hundreds of years, duna an yahtamma biha ahadan, without being. So ihtamma is a verb, ihtamma yahtammu, to pay attention, to care about. So yahtamma, because of an, yahtammu, it changes to yahtamma. So is harfun nasbin. So an yahtamma. So yahtamma is failun mudariun mansubun bi an, because of an, walamatun nasbi al fatah. So these were these stories were remained like this for hundreds of years without anyone paying attention on them. So ahadun is without anyone paying attention. Ahadun is the file. Hatta, until, Karaha Coelho, until Coelho he read it, Fasana'a minha. So sanaha is the verb, sana yasnau, to make or create. So sana is failum madin mabni al fathi, wa fa'iluhu damirun mustatirun fihi takdiru huwa. Yaudu ala kubiliyu. So the file is huwa, which is the mir mustatirun, and this refers to kubiliyu. So until he found it, the kubiliyu, he found that story, and then he created Arwayatan Jamilatan, a beautiful novel, Yakrauhal Alamu Kulluhu Al Ana, which the whole world now is reading it. So this novel is very popular, and the writer is saying this is actually the source of this novel is an old, hundreds of years old story which was written by an historian, Egyptian historian. So he took it after hundreds of years, and then from here he wrote a novel. And this novel is called, Riwayat is called Ismayu, which means the alchemist. So here Sana we studied it. Al-ana is the Zarfu Zaman, because this tells when that world is reading. The world is reading now, so this is the answer is of when. So this is Zarfu Zaman. And Kulluhu again, just like we studied above, Kullihi, because of Alimi was Kullihi. So now this is Alamu is Marfu. That is why is Kulluhu again is the emphasis, and it is gonna follow its Muakkad, which is Alamu. Same we studied in chapter 11. So that novel is called Alchemist As-Simayu Allati Narifuha, that we know it huna here bi ismi, by the name Sahirus Sahra, the magician of the desert. And wa alayka huna al-qissata allati katabaha al-muwarrikhu, and here is the story that Egyptian historian that he wrote it. So the novel is a big novel, but here is the brief story that was written by the Egyptian writer, which became the source for that novel. So here the story goes like this. Kana shabun fakirun, there was a poor young man min ahli Baghdada, from the people of Baghdad, Yaishu fi baitin. So Asha Yaishu, he was living in a house, Kadimin, an old house, Varahu, behind that house, behind it was Hadikatun Mahjuratun, was an abundant garden. So Vara is Zarfu Makan, it tells where that garden was. So garden was behind the house. So Vara is Zarfu Makan. I have marked a square or a rectangle where we find the Zarfu Zaman. So Zarfu Makan are circle, and Zarfu Makan are rectangle. So this is Vara is Zarfu Makan. Wafil Hadikati, and in the garden is Nakhlatun Ariyatun, there is a bare palm tree, La tusmiru saifan wala shitan, that does not give fruit in the summer, and neither gives fruit in the summer, not in the winter. So Ariyatun means bare palm tree, and tusmiru is the verb, Samara yusmiru, and for hiya, because the word is nakhlatun, which is a feminine word, so we have to use hiya, we can't use huwa here. Hiya tusmiru. So tusmiru is failun mudariun marfun walamatul rafi ad-damma wa fa'iluhu damirun mustatirun fihi taqdir huya yaudu ala nakhla. So that bare tree which does not when it does not give fruit, the answer is it does not give fruit neither in the summer nor in the winter. So these two mansoob, these words are Zarfu Zaman. So Kana Shabu Yajlisu, so the young man was sitting Takhta Nakhlati, so where he was sitting, under the palm tree. So Takhta is Zarfu Makan, that shows the place. Kulla Yawmin, every day. So kulla is the time when he used to sit under the palm tree every day. So this is then kulla is zarfu zaman. Bada audatihi min amalihi, after his return from the work, after he coming back from work, he was sitting under the tree. So bada here is zarfu zaman, it telling the time when he was sitting under the tree after he was returning from the work. And bada is the word that can be used as zarfu zaman or zarfu makan depending on the use of this word. Here is zarfu zaman. Wahuwa yufakkiru fi mustaqbalihi, while he was thinking about his future. So we can say that this one we can say this one is jumla hal. So in what condition he was sitting under the tree? He was sitting under the tree thinking about his future. So this is jumla hal fi mahalli nasbin. Wakana fi rasihi, and in his head, daiman, always, suwalun wahidun, there was always one question in his mind. So when there was a question, always. So daiman is zarfu zaman. Kaifa yatazawwaju, how he will get married. So that was the only question he was thinking about. فَلَيْسَ فِي بَيْتِهِ الْيَوْمَ غَيْرُ الْخُبْزِ, why he was thinking, because he didn't have today. So we can say that this is al-yawma is zarfu zaman. When he didn't have the food, the bread today. So he didn't have the bread. He didn't have anything in his house except gairul khubzi, other than the bread, wa bazu ta'ami, and some food. Walam yakuna fi baitihi gadan, nor he will have it tomorrow, wa bada gadan, or after tomorrow. Gairul khubzi wa bazu ta'ami. So these are circled ones are zarfu zaman. Wa fi laylatin, and in the night, wa huwa takhta shajarati, in a night under the tree, takhta shajarati, nama shabu. So one day he just slept there. The young man, nama, he slept, minat ta'abi, from the tiredness, he was tired. Far'a hulman, and then he saw a dream. Yukhbiruhu fihi rajulun garibun, a poor man informing him. Yukhbiruhu fihi rajulun, about a kanzin, about a treasure, madfunin takhta shajarati, buried under. So we here this takhta, we can mark it zarfu makan. So he saw a dream where a young man, a poor man, was telling him about a treasure that was buried under the tree, under the apple tree. Fi kasrin, in the kasr, in the palace. Min al kusuri, from in one of the palaces. And the kanzin min al zahabi, the treasure, they were from gold. Wa lulu wal yakut, and the pearls and rubies. Wa atahu awsaf al kasri, and he ata yuti, so this is the verb, and he gave him some indications or some characteristics of the palace. So he gave him some, how the palace looks like, and in that palace there is a apple tree, and under the apple tree there are some treasure. Salahu shabun mutalakhifan, so the young man, he asked him, he asked him, Aina yajidu hazal kasri, where is this palace? So he was anxiously, eagerly. So in what condition, in what state? The young man asked him. He was, eagerly, he was very fond of, interestingly. So this mutlakhifan is then the hal, it is mansoob. So the young man eagerly asked him, Aina ajidu hazal kasra, where do I find this palace? Qala lahu ar-rajulu, the man told him, tajiduhu khalfal jamil azhari bil kahirati, you will find it behind the Al-Azhar mosque in Cairo. So khalfa is the place, so is adverb of, is zarfu makan, it tells where that treasure would be, behind the Al-Azhar, somewhere behind the Al-Azhar mosque in Cairo. So saha shabu, so saha is the verb, saha yashu, to wake up. So saha is fe'lu madin mabni al fathil muqaddara, there is an estimated fatha here on the alif. So the young man, he woke up. Waqad takhazal qararan. So now this whole sentence after waw is jumla haliya, is jumla hal jumla, because this tells in what condition the young man woke up. The young man woke up making a resolve, making a commitment, firm commitment, that la buddha min as-safari ila al-Kahirati, that he must travel to Cairo. This is the, he making a resolve, he making a commitment that he should travel to Cairo. Kharaj ash-shabu laylan, one night this man, young man, he left. So now he is going to find that palace. So laylan is when, is answer to the question when he left. He left at the night time. So this is zarfu zaman. So this young man left in the night. Wal amalu yamluhu, while he was full of hope. So in what condition he left? With the hope, with full of hope. So then wal amalu yamluhu is the hal jumla. So he left in the state that with the full of hope, in an yajida kanzatu, that he will gonna find the treasure. Wasala layla bin nahari, he continued night and day. Sara shabu hatta, so the man walked until he reached Damishq. Summa sara wa shati il bahril mutawassiti, so then he walked. So this now shatiya, this is shatiya after waw is maf'ul mahu, which we have studied already. So this underline is maf'ul mahu, which tells that he walked by the Mediterranean Sea beach, hatta, until dakhala Dumyata, until he entered Dumyat. Wamin hunaka, and from there Sara wa far an Naili, so from there he walked by the river Nile branched out. So from there where the river Nile was branching out, he started walking by that. So this fara again is maf'ul mahu, and waw is wawul mayyati, that again we have studied in the last lesson number 14. Hatta, until dakhal al-Kahira, until he entered Cairo. Wa khalaf al-Jami al-Azhari, and behind the Al-Azhar mosque, akhaza yas'alu an awsaf al-Kasri, he started asking about the characteristics of the palace. He starting asking people about some of these characteristics of the palace, that where he could find that palace. So khalfa again is the telling us where he started asking question, behind the Al-Azhar mosque. So khalfa is zarfu makan. Fadalluhu ala kasri kabiri tujari fil kahirati, and they indicated him about a palace, a big palace of a merchant in Cairo. So the characteristic that he told them, they referred to him, they indicated him a palace that belonged to a merchant in Cairo. So here I have some Arab. if we just put Arab on this sentence, فَدَلُّوهُ, so fa is harfu atfin, and dalla yadullu is to indicate, hum dallu, huwa dalla, huma dalla, hum dallu. So dallu is fi'lu madin mabni ala dammi litasalahu bi babul jamaati, wa babul jamaati damirun muttasilun fi mahalli is fi mahalli, not majalli, is fi mahalli rafin file hum. And then fadalluhu, who is damirun muttasilun mabni ala dammi fi mahalli nasbin maf'ul bihi. They indicated who, they indicated him, who is maf'ul bihi. And la is harfu jarrin mabni la sukun, kasrin is ism majrur alamatul jarri al kasra, and kabirin is sifa majrura alamatul jarri al kasra wa huwa madaf, and at-tujari mudaf mudaf alayhi, at-tujari mudaf alayhi majrurun alamatul jarri al kasra fi harfu jarrin mabni ala sukun, and al-kahrati ism majrur alamatul jarri al kasra. So he referred him some place that was of a merchant's palace in Cairo. فَدَخَلَ عَلَيْهِ, so he entered in the palace mut'aban, tired. So mut'aban is hal. In what condition he entered? He entered in a condition that he was very tired. وَطَلَبَ مِنْهُ, and he asked him an yutihi, so he asked the owner of the palace to give him nisfal kanzi, half of the treasure, allazi fi hadikatihi, which is in his garden, mukabila an yadullahu ilayhi, in exchange of that he will indicate him that treasure. So he asked him that he to give him half of the treasure if he tells him where that treasure is. In exchange of that finding or indication of that treasure and finding it, he will give him half of that. Sa'alahu tajiru muta'ajjiban, so the merchant, he asked him muta'ajjiban, like surprisingly. So this is also hal. In what condition he was surprised of what he was saying. Kanzun, a treasure. Ayyu kanzin, which treasure? فَأَخْبَرَهُ الشَّابُ, so the young man, he informed him, bil hulmi, about the dream, allazi rahu, which he saw it. Ghaziba tajiru, so the merchant became angry. Wa amarahu, and he ordered him bil insirafi, he ordered him to leave. Lakinna shaba, but the young man, qala lahu, he told him, atini fursata, give me an opportunity, kai uhakkika hulmi, to prove my to make my dream true. So he asked him to give him opportunity so he can fulfill his dream. So uhakkika, this is the verb, hakkaka yuhakkiku, make come true, and for ana yuhakkiku will change to uhakkiku, but with kai is uhakkika. So uhakkiku fe'lun mudariun, so we can say fe'lun mudariun, here is uhakkika, we can say mansubun bi kai, walamatun nasbi al fathatu, we see a fatah here, uhakkika, because of kai, because it's harfun nasbin. Walamatun nasbi al fatah wa fa'iluhu damirun mustatirun fihi takdiruhu ana, because the file is ana. So he asked him to give him an opportunity to make his dream come true. Make my dream hulmi. Radda tajiru, so radda is a verb to respond. The merchant responded sakhiran. In one condition he responded sakhiran, jokingly. So this radda yaruddu, to respond. So radda is fi'lu madin mabni alal fathi. Al-kunuzu la tati illa fi ahlamin ya bunayya. The treasure does not come except in the dreams, O my son. Ana aidan, so now he's telling him that ana aidan raitu hulman, I also saw a dream amsi yesterday bi yukhbiruni, informing me anna that baitan kadiman bi Baghdada. So now he's telling him about his dream that he saw yesterday about a house, an old house. Actually he was referring to his house. So he also dreamed about something, some treasure in his house. So he said that informing me, the dream informing me that about a house, an old house in Baghdad. Warahahu hadikatun kadimatun, behind that house is a old garden. Fiha nakhlatun ariyatun, there is a bare palm tree in it, in that garden. La tusmiru saifan wala shitan, that neither gives fruit in the summer nor in the winter. Same sentence. So these two are zarfu zaman. Tahta is the zarfu makan. Tahtaha kanzun. So he said there is a tree, a palm tree in that house or in the garden, which does not give fruit in summer or winter, and under it there is a kanzun, there is a treasure, min az-zahabi, of gold, wal lulu wal yakuti, and the pearls and the rubies. He said also saw the dreams of hal usafiru, safara yusafiru, ana usafiru, do I travel, ila Baghdada, to Baghdad, gadan, tomorrow. When should I travel? Tomorrow. So is zarfu zaman. Li akhfira min takhti shajarati, to dig out the under the tree. Bakhsan, searching. So this is hal. In what condition to dig out? In search of anhazal kanzi, in search of this treasure. So when he told him his dream, then what happened? Lamaat aina shabi. So lama yalmau is a verb, means to shine or glitter. So and hiya lamaat. So lamaat is fe'lu madin mabni ala sukun, mabni ala sukun, and ain is actually ainani, but because ainani is mudaf, so mudaf cannot have noon, so noon is dropped, so it's just aina, and because of two eyes, these ainani, these two eyes, that is why here is used, because the body parts in pair are feminine. So ainani we have to use here. So ainani is actually now mudaf, because aina is fa'ilun marfun walamatul rafi al alifu li'annahu musanna, because it's pair. Wa huwa mudaf, and ashabi is mudaf li majrurun walamatul jarri al kasra. So his eyes were glittered, I mean there was a shine in his eyes of the young man. Wa astazana, so astazana is another verb. Istazana yastazinu, to ask for permission. So istazana is fi'lu madin mabni al fathi, istazana, wa fa'iluhu dhamirun mustatirun fihi taqdiru huwa, referring to that young man. So he asked for permission, fil insrafi, for leaving. He permitted the merchant, he asked for permission to leave. Wa ada, and returned, fawran, immediately. So in what condition he returned? Immediately. So immediately, he didn't waste time over there, he left fawran, immediately, ila Baghdada, to Baghdad. So fawran is hal. Ada yaudu, this is the verb. So this was the interesting story. I'm gonna stop here, and then from next time we do the lugwiyat and do the exercises. That will complete this lesson. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.